Hello and welcome to another episode of my anime academia. Welcome to episode 2 or installment 2, whatever. I'm totally prepared and know what I'm saying in these already. So yeah, last time I rewatched Yuri on Ice. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere. Long story short, I discovered this article in Den of Geek about the 10 best queer-led anime, and I realized I'd only watched one of them. So this series, I'm delving in to watch all 10 that this one particular author thought were the 10 best. I know there's other anime with queer leads out there, and let me know in the comments below what your favorite is, and there's a good chance I'll add it to the list and keep this thing going for as long as there's anime to watch. Anyways, so Revolutionary Girl Utena. I'm sure I am saying that wrong and will continue to say it that way, so sorry. I know a little bit about this anime, but not a whole lot. What do I know about it? I know that it was a major inspiration for Steven Universe. I believe that the main damsel in distress character sort of was a inspiration for Pearl, I think. I know they pull a sword out of her chest. I'm pretty sure that I've heard that that is the inspiration for the gems in Steven Universe pulling their weapons out of their gems. It's apparently, if I remember correctly, it's about a girl in high school, because it's an anime, so high school, who wants to be a prince. And she becomes a prince and saves the damsel in distress, or something along those lines. I'm excited to learn how wrong that statement is and how much more accurately it is able to be described. But it looks fascinating, and it's an older anime. It's, I think, from the 90s. I'll look that up. I've seen bits and pieces as my roommates watched it, but I haven't actually paid attention, read any of the subtitles, and I don't know what's going on in the story, just that there's this secret club of princes in this high school. So I'm excited to learn what this is, and if you haven't seen it, the first season, we're just doing season 1 right now. If you haven't seen season 1, but go watch it, pause the video, and then come back, because we're about to enter the spoiler zone as we do a little watch along with me. So, on to Future Otter in the spoiler zone. Yeah. I find it very interesting that Utena says that she's wearing the same uniform as all of the boys, but hers is red hot pants and a black jacket, where all the other boys are wearing white pants and a white jacket. So she's not wearing the same uniform as all the boys, and it's not the school uniform, but okay, I guess. The whole, like, Rose Bride is the possession thing is kind of gross, but obviously that's the whole plot of this, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, like, I love that she wants to be a prince, and she's like, oh, well, I'm going to save the damsel in distress, rather than be the damsel in distress. Oh, he's fallen. But yeah, I definitely see where the Steven Universe influences are there, or the parts that influenced Rebecca Sugar when she was making Steven Universe. Yeah, I wish that I went to a school that looked like that. That school is gorgeous. Gorgeous. With the giant birdcage rose garden. Like, damn. And a forbidden forest. But it's kind of creepy that she's a middle schooler. And this guy that seems to be like a high schooler is like, oh yeah, baby, looking at her. Like, can we not? Okay, so episode 2 is basically just like exposition the episode with repeat of the same duel at the end. I have a feeling that a lot of these episodes are going to end with a duel that has the exact same 2-minute apocalypse song stair climbing sequence in it, which, I mean, that's fine, I guess. It's just like, it's the exact same animation. But yeah, Choo Choo's cute. Little tiny monkey mouse, possibly. And then her getting possessed by the spirit of the prince that gave her the ring is an interesting twist to this. The prince that also looks a lot like Himemia. Okay, episode 3, the big dance. This really, really shows itself as a 90s anime in how economic it is, I guess you could say, with the drawings. In this one, there's not that staircase walk up because there's no duel, but there still is a exact shot-for-shot repeat of them taking the elevator up to the student council meeting. Also at the ball, they do that thing where like the people in the background aren't even colored in. They're just gray. And it's a lot of still images that are being panned across, which I do like that anime plays around with that a lot. But this specific episode, there's just so much of it. It's like, I'd say a good third of the episode is just panning over single shots that aren't in any way animated. But yeah, also another, I swear, I know it's probably a cultural thing, but it's just like the whole sister's like in love with her older brother thing is creepy. It's weird. I don't like it. Oh, yeah. And then you have Utena being like, no, I'm just a normal girl that wants a boy. But I don't know. She seems to really care about Himemia. We'll see. I mean, this is hailed as a queer anime, but as far as I know, in the 90s, I don't think they could, like, outright be like, hey, we're lesbians, so. Alright, episode 4, which is about Mickey and his piano playing. It's a really cute one. He just likes spending time with her. And it's cute, and it's nice to see that not everyone on the student council is terrible. But it also started off with a duel between Mickey and Utena. And that seems like it cut back in time. So I have a feeling that the next episode's going to build up to this duel that they showed. Also, Nanami. Oh, I'll put snails in her pencil box. Oh shit, she actually keeps snails in her pencil box. And then the mongoose in the drawer and the octopus in... It's ridiculous, but I love it. So silly. Alrighty, the conclusion of Mickey's little arc there. The student council president hooking up with his twin sister in the piano room that he knew he was going to go study in is kind of messed up. Yeah, Mickey. Oh, Mickey. Like, you're almost there. Like, you and Utena are both like, hey, Himemia is her own person, and she shouldn't be forced to do what other people say she has to do. Good. You're almost there. And then you're like, I must get her to be mine so that I can make music with her. And it's like, no, you are almost there. You are almost there. And then he's so surprised when Himemia is rooting for Utena, when Utena is the only person that actually, like, treats her like a person and not a thing to be won. Mickey. Okay, so episode 6 was just ridiculous in all kinds of ways. Nanami thinking that someone's trying to kill her, and then dating the little kid. But this show really just, like, wants to be creepy about sibling relationships. and wants to conflate older brother and something romantic in a really uncomfortable way. Also, this episode was ridiculous with all of the, like, 3 different instances of 3 different animals on the loose, the last one being a kangaroo. Okay. Sure. Alright, so we got Jury's story now, which she's definitely the first character that is explicitly queer. Because there's this whole thing where it's like, oh no, her best friend stole the boy that she likes, is like the like bait of it, and then the switch at the end is that no, she was in love with the best friend, and she has her picture in a locket, and I like that. But also, Jury seemed for a second, like they keep seeming for a second like they're gonna be better, and then treat the Rose Bride like crap. Like, how many people are gonna slap her across the face? It's ridiculous. Ugh. So the body swap episode is just straight up absurdism, right? Like, alrighty, yeah. She makes a curry that explodes and switches their personalities. Sure. But then Nanami in India getting chased by the elephants just gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and then the elephant follows her back. Like, ridiculous. So Saionji is just obsessed with Himemiya because he and blanking on his name, the student council president, his kids saw Utena in a coffin. Okay. This one was bizarre, to say the least. With the castle falling, but not falling. And then the student council president being one that, like, he got a call from the end of the world. But the end of the world is this mysterious force that sends them letters. I'm confused at this point more than anything. Nanami's obsession with her brother is really gross. Like, really gross. Also, she killed a cat because he liked playing with the cat more than playing with her. Like, what? But her outfit. Oh, I want her dueling outfit. I want it. Oh, but also, student council president is manipulative, and the way he manipulates his sister is worse than her weird incestuous obsession with him. Like, ugh. So they're just never gonna address the fact that there were randomly balloons floating around them for no reason. Like, literally, they're having their normal student council meeting, and all of a sudden, like, 1 balloon flies by, 2 balloons fly by. There's a bajillion balloons around them, and no one says anything about it. What? Also, student council president is such a manipulative dick. Somehow convincing Utena that he was her prince, even though he has a different hair color, and, like, he's absolutely, very clearly not the same person. And she's just like, oh, well, he keeps saying that he's my prince, so he must be my prince. All so that she'll hesitate in the fight, and he can win. And then it's just like, oh. And the whole thing with Himemiya just saying whatever the person who she's engaged to wants her to say. So, like, her saying that she wanted more friends was because Utena wanted her to want more friends, apparently. What? Oh, she realized that she really cared about Himemiya. And then she gets all depressed and, whew. The whole must be normal, must dress like a normal person thing does not suit Utena. Luckily, her best friend, whose name I'm blanking on right now, is there to snap her out of it. Snap out of it! Yeah, Hamiya breaks the power at the end because she remembers something about the other prince that looks a lot like her. Hopefully this last episode of this season will sort of clarify anything. No, 13 was a clip show. But this is the end of the first arc, hence the clip show. But yeah, that's only raised more questions, which will be answered in the second arc, I am sure. Alright, wrap up for part 1 of Revolutionary Girl Utena. I went to my drag closet and picked out a little something that I think fits the world-ish. But so yeah, I all in all enjoyed the beginning part of this. I'm gonna break the 39 episodes up into 13 episode chunks. I keep saying season 1 as if there's multiple seasons, but it's anime, so it's just 39 episodes and that's all that exists of it. Well, to start off, I can't ignore the fact that it makes me a little bit uncomfortable, this whole like winning the Rose Bride and like she has to do whatever the like winner of the duel wants her to. It feels a little uncomfortable. I realize that this whole thing is playing on these ideas of knighthood and chivalry and the like winning the maiden's heart ideal of that, but it feels kind of gross, especially when the character who is being won and treated like a possession is the only character with darker skin. It makes it feel even grosser, and that's a big negative in this one for me. But when it comes to the story itself, I think it's an interesting tale so far. There's a lot of absurdism going on, which I guess you kind of have to be when you have apocalyptic knighthood duels in a school with a secret floating city above it. I've definitely noticed that this anime falls victim to the lack of funding of 90s anime, and just older anime in general. It has a lot of scenes where it's just panning across a still image, which I get why they had to do it, but at the same time, not my favorite part of anime. Also, they recycled a lot of animation. We don't need 2 full minutes of her walking up a spiral staircase every time they go to duel. Like, I get that it's sort of as it pads out the episode. Yeah, I don't know. It feels as cheap as those anime where there's someone that's screaming for like a good 2 minutes to do one attack. But in the fight sequences, they managed a nice balance between action animation as well as still images, but with like a flashing background or some movement lines and a pan to sort of get the ideas across without having to animate every single frame. And the duels feel like action. At the same time, if you are at all photosensitive, like if flashing lights cause seizures or anything like that for you, do not watch this, because every single fight sequence is flashing lights that I am almost 100% positive would trigger that in people. Especially, I think it's like the second episode, the first time that the prince comes and like his spirit inhabits her body. That was just like flashing at you, and it's like, whoa, chill. But they're doing that with still images to trick your eye into making it feel like motion. Yeah, there were some episodes that are just like throwaway absurdism, honestly. Like where the elephants continue to chase Nanami through India and they get more and more ridiculous. Like they're climbing a mountain and an elephant's falling on them, and then they're crossing a rope bridge and an elephant's running at them across the rope bridge, and then finally 3 elephants are surfing after them in the water. But that entire episode was really ridiculous because it's just really, her cooking was so spicy that they switched bodies and pulled a Freaky Friday.
that one really broke any suspension of disbelief. Like, it's already a weird show, but like they set up these rules where it's like it makes sense. She has a sword that comes out of her chest, whatever, but everything fits within this structure that they've built. And then you have this one episode that just throws in magic body swap for not much payoff, honestly. It was funny, but it felt completely unnecessary. This definitely follows the typical student going against the student body council anime trope, and it follows it very to the book. Honestly, she has to battle one after another and work her way up to the student body president. I'm intrigued to see where it goes forward now that she's faced everyone on the council. They have that little tease at the end with the guy coming in who seems a little bit older than them, maybe, but I don't know ages in this, because she's apparently in middle school. Okay. When it comes to queer themes, I enjoy that they're really like pushing this gender presentation that Utena presents herself very masculinely. And I completely respect their decision to have her be like, no, I'm just a girl that wants to be a prince, but I still want boys. Like, you do you. There are women who are masculine who are into men, and that's perfectly great. The reason why this is on this list, though, is because of the queer themes that are going along with this. And she develops this relationship with Himemiya that feels like it's more than just this friendship. I mean, yeah, they're engaged to each other, but like, she has a full-on breakdown when she loses that duel and loses the Rose Bride. Like, won't leave her house, completely changes her look, drops her personality, and has to be snapped out of it by her best friend. So I'm intrigued to see how far they take the Himemiya-Utena relationship, and if they take it full-on romantic, or they leave it at just this more than friends but undefined spot. But I do really enjoy that they were explicit, well, as explicit as you could be in 1997, with Jury, and her whole episode, and her best friend being like, oh, you must hate me because I ended up stealing the boy that you like. And then at the end turns around and she's holding the locket with the picture of the female friend, and it's like, yeah, you broke my heart, but not in the way that you think. That's more explicitly queer than I expected this show to get, honestly, with the age of it. Another thing that I really enjoy is that there's a lot of instances where, well, not a lot, but there's a couple of instances where it's like when her friend's letter is posted and she goes up and tears the letter down. But there's a couple instances of that where she's like, no, a real man, a real knight, a real chivalrous prince would not make fun of someone or treat someone this way. And I really enjoy that she's there putting these guys in their place, being like, no, this isn't how you should act. It's very, very, very clear that Rebecca Sugar got a lot of inspiration from watching this when she was a kid. I think we're about the same age. She's a couple years older than me, so she was probably like 10 or 11 when this came out. Because this isn't just speculation. She has said in multiple interviews that this show was an influence on her when creating Steven Universe. And you can see that in a lot of Pearl's fighting style, particularly. Pearl and Utena Pearl is very much based on Utena. Being the knight, being the prince, like Pearl wanting to be Rose's knight, and Utena being the, like, wanting to be the savior prince are very, very, very parallel. They have the iconic dip, the pulling weapons out of gems is very similar to the pulling the sword out of Himemiya's chest. I enjoy these little, finding these little Easter eggs, finding these little things that go, oh. But yeah, I think that's all I really need to say about this first section. So far, I'm enjoying it enough that I'm excited to see where it goes.
So, as I'm editing this, I'm realizing that I just sort of stopped talking and didn't finish the video. So, Let me know what your favorite queer-led anime is in the comments below. And join me next time when I take a dive into the second 13-episode chunk of Revolutionary Girl Utena.
I'll just walk in front of my light. Yeah. I see you. I'll walk in front of my light again. Okay. Lens. Just gonna scratch at the carpet, huh? Just gonna scratch at the carpet? He's being a bad boy.